All right. I was late because there was a line at Starbucks. Anybody here? Oh, just a couple people. We're just going to hang out for a minute, and I'll wait for some people to show up. C pentatonic, G pentatonic, D. Hey, Pepper. Been a while since you've been the first one on. Are you on break now? Today, officially? It feels like too much light in weird. That makes more light, but even. Yay! So you're on break. That's good. You probably still have homework though. Oh no, you don't. Hey, Michael, what's going on? Oh, not till January 13th. That's almost a full month. What, 3 weeks? Hey, Dennis, how you feeling? Yeah, we're fine, but I want to know how you are. How you feeling? Okay, people are starting to show up now. Felt like a one-man show here for a minute. Pepper's on. Everybody say hi to Pepper. All right, let me turn off this track. 127,000 views. That's pretty good for that track. Let's see. Okay, so got 17 on right now. Michael, so we was on the Elixir site yesterday looking at acoustic strings. There's one set that's lighter than the custom lights. Would you put a beginner on those or custom lights? There's one that is set as lighter than, the lighter. I'm not sure what custom lights are. I use lights. I always say with strings, it's funny how it kind of happened, but they medium is really heavy and light is really medium and extra light is really light. There tends to be three different types. And then there's custom sets where maybe you take the top strings of one light set and mix it with the lower strings of a medium set or something like that. I'm not sure what the gauges are on the custom lights. But if you go with a light string, it's definitely easier for a beginner. And there was a period of time where I was using heavier strings because I was sacrificing playability for tone. But then so much of the tone is in other things. The quality of the guitar. I feel like there's a lot of tone in the pick. And of course the microphone, the sound of the room. I've talked about my signal path. I did a video on that. And the older I get and the more I play, the less hard I want to work. So I've gone back to lights on most of my guitars. So that's lights are good for pros as well. So, I mean, I know Steve Ray Vaughan would use, they always say, oh, you use really heavy strings. Yeah, well, you also tune down a half step. So that kind of changes the feel of heavy strings. I've got that cheap Jim Dandy guitar that I bought just a few weeks ago. I've got that tuned down a whole step just because I like it to sound kind of squishy and almost out of tune, difficult to play in tune, but for pop stuff, because the pop kids love that. So, so I'm trying to make everybody happy. Let me see who's all on. Jim Horst, I see you. Dan, good to see you. Michael Mason, good. Of course you can join the party. It is a party, and I was late because I had to go to Starbucks. AJ, it's funny, your avatar looks like a Starbucks logo from this distance. Let's see. Oh, Easy's here too. And Mark Boldman, good to see you, my friend. Bob Schumann. Everybody's saying hi to Pepper. Pepper hasn't been on in a while. She's been buried under massive tests and schoolwork and everything. Let's see. Dennis, did you answer my question? Feeling better slowly but surely. Okay, good. So you're on the other side of it. You're coming away from it. And I saw it too. I was looking at the live stream thread from yesterday or day before or something and I miss so much of what you guys are talking about when I'm yakking away or doing scales or playing or whatever. But yeah, you were saying how much is closed, only stores and grocery and pharmacies. Pretty much everything's open in LA and California. They're not telling every store like they did the very, very beginning that they have to shut down. They're saying, 20% capacity. And of course, no one's going around and enforcing that. And I don't even know what 20% capacity means because, you look at a Walmart and, capacity on a Walmart could be, I don't know, that's as big as Staples Center. So 20,000. So 20% of 20,000 is what? 4,000? So I've never seen 4,000 people in a Walmart. I've seen close. It might be close now with Christmas and everything. That's where it's probably really going to spread as people go into Walmart to get crap. But, everybody has to wear masks in stores and stuff like that. Now, restaurants aren't open, but that's a bummer. And then they're talking about extending another 4 weeks in California. But yeah, haircut, barbershops are shut down. It's that doesn't make any sense. It's usually one-on-one kind of thing. I don't know that anyone's ever said. I've not heard of anyone getting COVID from a haircut. But hey guys, as some know, I'm really cross today, having lost a string. You lost a string? Was it your G string? Sorry. In that case, I wouldn't be too bummed about losing that. Now, just an aside, we did a whole series of on pentatonic scales, and I forget what key we did. Probably A minor or C. We did probably C. And remember, the whole notion of pentatonic scales is that there are 5 up and down the neck, 5 different shapes, patterns that go up and down the neck. They're all connected. Remember, they all share. They share, the front or the top of pentatonic number 1 is the same as the bottom of pentatonic number 2, and so on. So when you're playing a G pentatonic, you don't just have to play here. You can do any of the G pentatonics you want. You can do number 2, you can do number 3, you can do number 4, you can do number 5, back up to number 1. Bluegrass isn't all about playing in open position. And by open position, I mean we're really technically in first position because our first finger is assigned the first fret. But that's all open position because we're using open strings. But for what we're doing kind of the basics and trying to keep it fairly simple. Although with the chord changing as fast as it was, I almost wish I doubled the length of the chord. I may do a new jam just so we can have the chords sit on the chords twice as long. I feel like it makes it better. Now, I said this before that I think that the musically, like writing a song, it's easier when the chords change sooner. But soloing is easier when the chords change slower. So, and it's, you start to work on a scale, and you just get it down, and now now I got to go to C pentatonic. Now, here's the other thing: G major pentatonic. Remember, G major scale in the previous 3 lessons worked over all 3 chords, and so would G major pentatonic. I mean, if I were to play the jam, let me go back to the beginning. I could get away with just playing G major pentatonic. Oops, dang it. Here, try to get my windows on. It's a little boring. It doesn't give you as many options as having 2 other scales to jump to. But it's not offensive. You're not really hitting any bad notes. I mean, over the C chord, you may be hitting that B note, which is kind of a jazzy major 7th sound. And to be honest, I would rather hit the D flat, okay, which is the 7th of the C chord. Okay, that would sound like this. Where are we? There. Okay. Right? And so that to me makes a lot more musical sense than hitting that B string over the C chord. Those are just kind of things that you start to figure out as you start to jam. You go, oh wait, I like the sound of that better. Okay, let's try to avoid the open B or whatever. Those are things that just it's kind of dealer's choice when you're playing. It was the G, and did it break? You know what? So when I first started working with Elixir, they gave me tons of free strings, and so I got just boxes of strings. In particular, I got lights. I was using lights, Elixir lights, and they didn't really have as many options back then. I think it was just that. It was polyweb, what they call now polyweb. I don't even think they called it polyweb back then. And when I was playing acoustic, most of the time I was leading worship, so I'm singing and playing, and I'm strumming pretty hard sometimes because maybe I can't hear we weren't using ears, but in the monitor or whatever, I can't hear myself very well, or I'm trying to generate. One of the nice things about playing guitar and singing is when you're standing, it vibrates against your body. I think it makes it easier to sing in tune because you got that instant verification in your chest if you're in tune or not, And But I was breaking a lot of G strings. I mean, just a lot of G strings. And so what they would have me do is they would send me more sets, and I would send them the broken G strings, and they would analyze them. And eventually, whatever they did, they made some changes. Whatever they did, they stopped breaking. Now, I don't know if I didn't go with a lighter pick. I didn't go with heavier strings. I didn't change really my playing style. When I was leading worship, I really didn't have much of a playing style. I just kind of did what I had to do to get to the end of the song. It was like a running downhill kind of thing, you know. Hey, Becker, already? You may be back later. Maybe back later. In layers, it's cold. It must be cold where you are. Sorry, that's stupid dad joke. I don't know. Michael, Tom, or Dennis will eventually post Discord. Oh yeah, I can do that right now. I will do that now. Here's the Discord link for newbies. Anybody who doesn't, and all the songs, it always jumps to the bottom of the intro page. I want to stay at the top of the intro page where the link is. Invite link. Here we go. Boop. Copy. Oh, Dennis probably beat me to it already. Nope. There we go. So up there is all of the chords, the shapes you see up here. These little JPEGs that I put over here. Okay, those are all up there. All of them. Everything we've done in the last 151. We hit a milestone last on Wednesday, and I didn't even bring it up, but we hit 150 lessons. But everything is up there in the Discord, including the PDF for the song I wrote using the pentatonic shapes. Okay, so this is kind of like, it's got tab in here too, so if you're not a music reader, that's fine. I would love for you to start to be able to kind of look at the music and start to read the music. Music is helpful because it has things like rhythm in it, where tab doesn't always have rhythm in it. So if you only have the tab, sometimes you don't know it's, or if you read the tab, you might think it was. You wouldn't know there were gaps in the music, and now the tab here works out pretty well because it actually shows the gaps. But the good thing about tab is it shows you where to play it, which is nice because on guitar is really the only instrument aside from any of the stringed like violins and violas, stuff like that, where you could play the same note in multiple places. I don't know. Maybe it's true in woodwind instruments, or I don't know. I don't know saxophone or, but you have different options, and sometimes a lot of professional guitar players won't play everything in open position. They might move up the fretboard, or they will definitely move up the fretboard. So, wow, yeah, I think it was about 38 degrees this morning here. Oh, but it was 24. Okay, yeah, it's going to hit 60, 70 today. I think is what it says. Yeah, I know it's pretty. Yeah, 70 today. We get 79 on Sunday and Monday, which is nice. And then back down to the 6 wind again. No rain. We get serious wind here. We get the Santa Ana's blowing. That's why the fires get so bad, because the fires, whenever we're having fire trouble, it's always it's almost always partnered with the Santa Ana winds that are just been blowing for thousands of years. So, all right, let's see. Oh, you are raging. Yeah, because it's not easy to get a G string in the in the middle of COVID lockdowns, right? I mean, I think I probably had. They must have sent me extra G strings or something like that. One weekend, I broke one string in every. We were doing 5 services, and I broke 5 strings. I kid you not. By the end of the weekend, I had 1 string on my guitar. No, I would take the guitar backstage, put a new string on or whatever, but it was so frustrating. And it was all different strings too. I guess I let the set get too old. These are getting pretty old, so it could very well break a string today. Although I'm not playing very hard, so okay. Let's go ahead and review. I think I said we were going to do maybe some snippets or something. So let's try to find a snippet. We can just do that. Take the middle 2 strings, hit the open D string, 2nd fret with the 2nd finger, open, 2nd fret, open G string. So we're gonna I'm tell you what. Let's only play on the G string today. No, okay, all right. So maybe Dave, sorry, yeah, David. Maybe we should avoid the G string today, huh? So that David can join us. Uh, yeah, hard to play bluegrass and G without the G string, though. I have to tell you, that's like the most important string. Why did you break that one? What do you have against me? Why are you mad at me? Why are you making my life more difficult? David never thinks of others. Okay, so let's see, David. I'm gonna try to do this. Maybe, yeah, this will be fine. This is more of an exercise, a mental and a dexterous exercise than it is a actual musical idea. So let's yeah. Everyone's very chatty today, Catherine, including your host. Okay, so let's go. Let's migrate this down to the fourth string and the fifth string, 5 and 6, 5 and 4. So we're gonna play open for the G chord. We'll play open, 2, open, 2, open. Okay, right? It sounds like a D lick, doesn't it? And we may use that over the D. Okay, over the C chord, we're going to go. So, like that. 1 and 2 and. So we're going to go open A, 3rd fret, open D, 2nd fret, C. And then back to. Okay, and then over the D, we're going to do the same as the G lick. Okay, we're going to try to do this right now. I may slow it down to 75, which is great. I can do that really easy in YouTube because the video's at 100 beats per minute. Scott Jacobs, in appreciation. Good morning. The idea is to just basically be kind of aware of when the C chord comes up, and that's when we'll make the C change. So let's the C change. Right, I went away from onto the Discord. Okay. Oh, and here's let me give you this jam track. So here's the jam track that I'm using, so you can use this yourself, and it's 10 minutes of just this progression. All right. So over the G. Oh, I gotta slow it down. Normal playback speed 0.75. That will get us this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get a lot of practice on that one. Sorry, and then the C chord. G. And again. Not very musical, but it's good at mental exercise. Try to hear where that C chord is. Okay. Wow. Okay, Dennis. Okay. Well, so apparently David's picked up a guitar with a G string. So, it's Friday, so that's why we're hap slappy, which is my favorite Unerspism. Actually, Unerspism is my favorite spoonerism. A spoonerism is when you mix up the first letters of two different words. Like instead of Tom Strahle, it's Sam Trailey or whatever. Like, I gotta make sure I'm not gonna say a dirty word or something like Jepper Packy right? That's an Unerspism. But if you say Unerspism, or that's a Spoonerism. But if you say Unerspism, it's actually a Spoonerism. So self-fulfilling. Okay, so we're going to go back to that snippet. We're going to go back to the D string and the G string. So we're going to make it it's going to be hard. I'm going to slow it down to 50, I think. Like I said, that'll double out the length of every chord, won't it? Which is what I kind of wish it was doing. But so over the G chord and over the C chord, we're going to go open 4th string, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open. Okay, I'm trying to do something basic here, but this is not here. That's a little bit tough. Where's Holly? Oh, there's Holly. And Holly, if you want to, if your pinky's not awake yet, if you haven't your pinky hasn't had its coffee yet, you could probably finger the D chord this way too. Oops. So we're going open on the D string, 2nd, 4th fret, 2nd fret on the G string. So we're not actually playing the open G string on this one, right? We're playing this scale here. So hard to point at something. I can't do it. There we go. I feel like I've got some kind of mental well, yeah, I do have a mental disorder, but anyway, so that's the scale we're referencing on the D chord. But you'll notice that the middle 2 strings are the same on the G pentatonic and the C major pentatonic. The notes are D, E, G, and A, and you'll see there's a D, E, G, and A in all of these, or both of the first 2 scales, but there's no G in the D, so major pentatonic. So we're having to make a slight alteration. Okay, so let me slow. It's going to sound really underwater, but I'm going to slow this down to 50.5, and that will make it go at 50 beats per minute instead of 100 beats per minute. It'd be funny if it made the ad go slow too. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot that it changes there. Okay, again, one more time. That part of the scale is the same in both of those. The G major and C major. Now the D one. That's annoying. All right, so we let's see, what do I want here? Okay, so the song, the Pentup song, which is the song I wrote using these scales. It's just, like I said, it's an exercise. I mean, it's not a bad. I like the other one better melodically. I'm just trying to think about next week. What I want to do is add the blues notes to these scales, okay, and maybe spend another 3 lessons on that. So we're gonna sit on this pentatonic scale for a while, but we're gonna add a note to each scale. The thing is, though, when it comes to writing, here's my thinking is, so if you look at the G major pentatonic, oh, you know what, I'm going to drag over the progression so it's in here. Hold on a second. So this is when I'm, whoops, dang it. When I'm referencing the chord progression, it's this. So you see it goes G for bar, C for bar, G for bar, D for bar, G, C, G, D, G. So one lick you could do over that G, or the D going to the G at the end there, where you've got, you know, that. So it's, you know, one little lick you could do that would transition you from the D to the G is this. It's really nice because what you're doing is you're playing the D major pentatonic, D, E, F sharp, A, and with that F sharp and A, you're kind of surrounding the G. So if I played it all on one string, you could see it better. David, you could play this on the other guitar now. I'm on the D string only. So right here, I'm going F sharp to D, A, and then there's G right there. So I'm like surrounding G before I get to it. And it makes for a really nice melodic movement. That works great too, but that's a little bit, you know, Addams Family. So, or whatever it is. Yeah. So, and I play it here. So, now if the progression is sailing by really fast. And that right there, that little lick that I did, that is with the blues note added. And a blues note in a major pentatonic is the flat third. In a minor pentatonic, it's the flat 5. Okay, and you're going to see that next week. Now here's my dilemma. I kind of like the sound of the G major pentatonic with the blues note, the G major blues, over the C chord. So my thinking is I'm going to be teaching you, oh, well, here's the C major pentatonic with a blues note added. Right? And yet, melodically, I'm not going to necessarily want to, you know, that might work. I mean, I might like that, but I'm going to want to go to that. So we'll probably, gosh, and what scale would that be? If I did G Dorian, which is the same as C Mixolydian, don't worry. You know what I'm going to say. I think I created some new T-shirts and stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure how to work the whole Teespring. I've got like $41 sitting there in royalties for me, so for all the stuff you guys have bought. I have to tell them to send it to me or whatever, but I'm like, I'll let it get up to 100 before I do that. But I wanted to do some white on darker colors, and I think I did, you know, long sleeve T-shirts and baby shirts and little kids shirts that like says there won't be a quiz on this. It's like, what? Like imagine giving that to someone who just had a baby, you know, like, and they like this newborn little shirt that says, "Don't worry, there won't be a quiz on this." And it's like, yeah, kind of the ultimate quiz. So it doesn't make any sense. Yes, so everybody take a sip, a celebratory sip. Let's see. Oh, Jan's in the house, and Diru is in the house too. Good to see you. Gary's in the house. Gary, God bless you, man. So that's kind of my dilemma about, you know, the next song. I've got to write something. So I'm trying to think. I could just. Let's see. I could just write. We could just do G major blues pentatonic, or what do I want to call it? G major blues, not pentatonic. G major blues is what I'm going to call it. Okay, that's going to be what the scale's called. David is telling everyone that he lost a string. that must be a Scottish thing to say. I would have said I broke a string, but you're saying you lost a string. David. Oh my goodness. Catherine's like, man, everybody's chatty. No, it's just David talking about his G string again. Okay, so so now let me. So this is a preview of next week. Let me just play this jam track. I gotta turn it up. And see if I can do the whole thing with just the G major blues. I gotta get my string. Yeah. Yep. I think I'm going to write the song just using G major blues. So I have to write it still, so I haven't even written it yet. But that's a lot of fun. As opposed to this, writing is a lot of fun. You tell I'm not having any fun, right? Pretty devastating. Wow. I never realized the Scottish were so emotional. I always thought Brits were stoic. Of course, I just insulted him by calling him a Brit, I think. That's an insult, right? To call a Scot a Brit. You know, the Brits are famous for their stiff upper lips. Tally-ho. You know, it's like arms cut off. Tally-ho. Okay. So yeah, I may just, maybe on Monday I'll just show you G major pen or G major blues, and then we'll have some fun with that, because I think I can write a whole song with that. Whereas the G major pentatonic by itself would be difficult really to come up with good melody, but that one extra note, that B flat, really kind of, and here's a lick, the most famous bluegrass lick will, and that be the one we'll kind of hammer home on Monday, but right, is that happy major blues scale. Okay. Again, it's the open string dilemma with the pick. See, the problem is I'm going to want to go really fast with that lick. It's not going to sound very good at eighth notes at 100, you know. I'll figure something out. Hopefully I can come up with a melody. The problem is once you get into those blues licks, you really want to start playing a little faster. Oh, thank you, Bruce. Let's see, request from Michael. Stay on point. No, what is it? Please solo over the 7th bar in the first position really slow and discuss our options. Oh, the 7th bar. Okay. And then so the major blues is just the addition of the flat third to the major pentatonic. Yes. Yes, exactly. It's the same note you're adding to the E minor pentatonic. Exactly. But in analysis, it's the flat 5 in the E minor pentatonic. Okay. So yeah, and part of me is regretting writing that, you know, I wrote this chord progression, not that it's mine originally or anything like that. It just sounded really stereotypically bluegrassy to me. Not particularly bluegrassy, but you know. I get a lot of thumbs down on that video. I'm running about 90% thumbs up on that video because 53 thumbs down out of 562 thumbs up, but that's mainly because legit bluegrass players are going, you can't call that a blue. There's no such thing as a bluegrass progression. It's not like blues, whereas you could say, okay, this is a blues progression. Bluegrass is whatever the song is. There's a million progressions, and I'm not disputing that. So I'm just saying and I even thought that when I posted it, because you'll notice in that it says bluegrass, and so you can all take a sip, because you can take 2 sips, because not only did I actually put bluegrass in quotes, I'm saying it this way. It's a bluegrass jam, so it's one of many. I could do 1,000 of those with different progressions. But anyway, so when I wrote it and recorded it, I put the D in there just to kind of make it sound more of a final, right? Boom, boom, boom. So you're right. You do have some challenges in here. If we do so for options, if you look at the scales, you can see, I think, a good snippet to look at. Is to look at this little bit here. So that in the G major pentatonic, the top 2 strings are open, third, and that would be B, D, E, and G. Okay, and Michael, right? Yeah, Michael. And I'm using pentatonics as an example of how to get through that, because that's what we're talking about today. Okay. But we could also use major scale, because we've already done that, so I may reference that. But that was the first 3 lessons. This is the third of the second 3 lessons, and we've been spending the last 3 lessons on the 3 different pentatonics. Is that enough time saying the word 3? 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. Now, what's it? Off topic. But my son just got a merit on grade 6. Oh, nice. Dang. He's been working hard. Okay. So those are the notes in G major pentatonic. The D major pentatonic notes on those top 2 strings are open, which B, and then D, open, E, and then F sharp. So you could do, hard to loop that. So if we're playing 8th notes, we got 4 notes over the G and 4 notes over the D. You can do something like that. Basically, you got 4 beats if you're playing just slow 8th note, 8th notes. But keep in mind that D is really there to set up the next G. Okay, so what might help you, Michael, is to not think of it as bar 7, but think of it as bar 7.5 to bar 8. Right? It's more the resolution. It's and that's what the D is there to set up that last G and make it sound like it ends. You'll notice that the first 4 bars, it's the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 1 chord, and the 5 chord. Okay? If I just did that in a circle, it would almost feel like it was just a loop. But when I did the G to D and I brought the D in earlier and then resolved to the 1 chord on the 8th bar, on the last bar, that created more of a resolution. Okay? So really what you want to do is not so much worry about playing over the G to D. You want to play over that D to G. Okay? That 5 to 1. So maybe there, so we could just right? I'm more concerned about that moment in the music than the 2 beats before that. Okay, but here's one lick you could do. Everybody can do this. It's all pentatonic right here. Open G. So we're starting on that 7th bar, downbeat over the G chord. So this is a lick you could do over both of those, over those chord changes. The change from G to D and the change back from D to G. Okay, so we have hey, Hook's in the house. So open G, 2nd fret, open B. That's amazing, Whitson. So open, second, open, then third fret. Okay, and that's over the G. And then over the D, we go open B. So we're there. We go open B string, second string, third fret, open first string, second fret, and then, okay, so the whole lick is. And that, if like I said, if the chord progression go by, if it's going by pretty fast, it's fairly easy to get pretty fast. But it does get you. The goal is to kind of get to that to land on a G note on beat 1 of the last bar 8. Okay. So again, that is open. See, open, second, open, third, again, open, third, open, second, 1. So it's very symmetrical in some ways. Or you can almost think of it as top 3 strings open and then superimpose a D chord over it, right? So I'm playing top 3 strings open like an E minor chord to a D chord, and it's almost what it's almost what it feels like. So there's one way you can look. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm just creating a lick on the fly to give you an insight on how you can do it. Not so much, here's a lick, but here's how you can come up with that lick, okay? And because when you're soloing is the same as composing, except you're doing it instantly. So a lot more pressure in some ways. Composing, you can take a whole day to write this, okay? And I didn't, but it took me an hour maybe, if that. But when you're soloing, you're composing on the fly essentially. So, and that's why we kind of fall into licks and shapes and things we're familiar with. But the best players are the ones that can, like, you'll watch them in 2 nights in a row, and they'll do a completely different solo the second night than they did the first night. You're like, what? Just did a better solo tonight than he did last night. Oh, thank you. Yeah, appreciate that, Bruce. Yep. In fact, I think it's getting. Yeah, I think I put a button on the last section, so now we're technically in Bluegrass, and we're going to be here for a while, I think, Bruce. My thinking is. Okay, we got 35, 36. That's not bad. 25 likes. Love that. Got 3 dislikes yesterday. I have a feeling it was one person that went to 3 different accounts and just thumbs down me, and then they went backwards and thumbs down a bunch of other videos. It's just like super duper lame. But if it makes you feel better about yourself, then go for it. I don't care. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's fun. It's funny because I was, when Eddie Van Halen died, I kind of went through a binge rabbit hole of watching a bunch of Eddie Van Halen interviews, and I didn't realize he was as good a piano player. Like he and his brother were like winning little awards and stuff in Pasadena, which is where I live. But they were there before I moved there. I moved there in '83. And by then they were huge and famous. Who would dislike this? I know. I'm giving you basically a $100 lesson for free. Actually, if it's 2 hours, a $200 lesson for free. I'm giving you $200 essentially of me. Yeah. It wasn't trolls. It was someone who I called out on. I think it was a kid, and they're probably like, oh, he's an old man. But it was, anyway, so, so when you're, trying to navigate through that, there's that one too, right? We talked about that one where we surrounded the G. It's pretty standard to want to end on a G note on beat 1 of bar 8, okay? it's really, really standard to want to do that. So having some licks ready to go um, is not a bad thing. Although I find sometimes if you're playing a solo, let's say you're improvising, but you go, okay, I've got a lick I've got to use on beat 3 of bar 7. That is going to affect how you play everything before because you're going to be thinking about that moment too much, right? And the example I think of is Steve Lukather. I analyzed the crud out of his guitar solos and would transcribe his solos note for note on like back in the early '80s when I was wanting to move to LA, wanted to be a session guitar player, and he was the guy I wanted to be, you know. And he's the guitar player for Toto, but he played on a million things, you know. He played the guitar solo on Let's Get Physical. He did I Love LA. He did The Tubes. Anything David Foster produced in the early '80s, he was on. He played rhythm guitar and bass on Beat It by Michael Jackson. And then, of course, he played all the Toto stuff. I mean, his discography is insane. It's if you go to allmusic.com and look at Lukather's credits, it's insane. And one of the things he could do that was like, he would do like a flurry of notes, and he would get to the tonic on the downbeat. I'm like, how did you time that out? Did you count, okay, I'm going to start on beat 1, and so I need 16 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No. So I need to go 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No, I need one more. You know, he didn't do that. He just knew that, you know, he would get to that moment and he would be on a downbeat. He would get there however he did, and it was always perfect. And I'd be in sessions and I'd be going, okay, let me finish with a flurry, a Lukather flurry, and I'd be halfway there and I'd be like, nope, okay, let me try it again, you know, and I'd have to punch in a bunch of times again. Eventually, though, I got to the point where I was able to do that and land on a note, and every time I'm like, and I don't even know what I'm doing. It's not even like it's like you're not thinking about it, and it makes it easier. And so that's where I'm a little concerned where if you sit here and go, okay, I need a lick to get me from the D to the G. No, you can almost ignore the D in that because, and I'm still talking to Michael here, but I think everybody's here, hopefully hearing this, because the whole song is in G, and whatever lick you do over the D is probably going to sound fine if it's a G lick. But you're going to probably want to, and I ended on, you know, here I ended on a G. Uncle Jan's Reel, I ended on a G there. Okay. In the first one, up here, because I go through the progression twice for the song. On the first one, I also end on a G, and on that one, I end on a G. So, in fact, let me pull up, pent up. Let me pull up the second phrase and see what I did. And actually, what I did on the second stave. Remember, that was a new word from last week. Let me make sure I got the right one. Nope. Yep. Boop. All right. Should I leave it over my face like that? All right. So I kind of, you know, I don't want to say I cheated, but basically what I did over, what I did over the, again, remember the song's called Pent Up. So I wanted kind of a melodic movement to be upward. So this is up, right? Low to high. And I just love the, you know, the F sharp. That's the cool note to try to grab and try to get. You know, that F sharp is beautiful over the D. And it really sets up the G, right? So many. I could have done that. I could have gone. Right? did was I did that thing where I talked about kind of surrounding the G note. I went with the F sharp up to the A, so there's my pent up, because I'm doing the D major pentatonic, you know, 2 notes in the D major pentatonic, F sharp and A, and then I'm going to the hit it again and then go to the G. So that phrase, that bar, it's technically bar 7 down there. And that's where we go to that lick. But yeah. All right. And in some ways that G, that I could have ended there, but I kind of wanted to do something that was a little more stereotypical. You know, almost like a classical piece, and very fiddly actually. And so therefore very much more like a fiddle reel or a violin, you know, thing. So oh, what did I say something? Let's see. Yeah, I do teach you stuff every time. Well, you know, here I'll tell you the difference between a guitar player and a professional guitar player. I literally fed my family with this thing for the last, you know, 30 years. My oldest is 28. I mean, so my wife, like I said, she quit her job when Emma was born, and Emma's 23. So I basically was the breadwinner, the sole breadwinner playing guitar. Like, what am I, insane? For about 16, 17 years before Beth went. Once Emma got to college, Beth went back to work. But she was homeschooling, so that was more than enough to do. Because I did it for Alex and Jack for their first year. We sent Alex off to first grade, and it didn't go well. And we kind of decided where we were going to homeschool at that point. So I homeschooled Alex's second grade and Jack's first grade. And then once Emma got old enough to be homeschooled or whatever, that's when Beth quit working. So she was off for about 17 years, I think. So when you have to, you figure things out when you have to pay the bills with this stupid thing. And so, yeah, so I'm glad that you're learning stuff every time. And a lot of times it's things I'm more like, well, this is why I did this, I guess. You know, it's not like this is how you do it. It's more like, well, why did I do that? I guess I did it because of the. It makes it. But I actually was yesterday. I was formulating because I've had a lot of requests to do a video on how to practice, and that's a toughie. But I've come up with some good tips. I'm not going to actually say that this is what I did to practice. Practicing is really. For me, has largely been, and I practiced, you know, like I always say, from the age of 15 to the age of 35, I practiced 8 hours a day. I basically had an 8-hour-a-day regimen. And then once I got into my mid-30s and was working enough, work was practice. And I didn't really need to do it anymore. But my regimen from 15 to 35 was varied. And a lot of it changed every year. But what I tried to do was not do too many things. I tried to get good at one thing. So I really woodshedded classical guitar for a couple of years. And then I really did jazz for a couple of years. You know, if you try to do a little jazz, a little country, a little rock, and a little blues every day, you know, every day you do 10 minutes of each, you're never going to get good at any of them. It's immersion is really like, it's just like learning a language. You know, immersion's the way to go. And so basically I found myself immersing myself in classical music and classical guitar stuff. And then, you know, and so currently right now it's more bluegrass kind of stuff is what I'm trying to listen to more. Listening is real important. Listening is the big, and you're listening to someone who does nothing but talk. I'm telling you, listening is very important. How ironic is this? But I find, and I actually miss not drive. I'm not driving at all. Like I have, because we moved so close to church now. I don't have that 30-minute each way drive, so I can't listen. I'm not listening to music as much as I was because I really like listening to music in the car. I feel like I hear it better, and I can't pick up a guitar. When I listen to music in the house, I'm always tempted to pick up a guitar and play along, or go, "Oh, what was that? Oh, that's cool," or try to figure it out. And it shifts your brain into this different thing. Whereas just having input. I tell people one of the best ways to sound like, if they really want to sound like Jimi Hendrix, listen to a lot of Jimi Hendrix. It's like, what's the saying they say about counterfeits? They counterfeit, the Secret Service or the Justice Department, they don't study counterfeit bills. They study the actual bill, so they recognize a counterfeit when they see it. They go, yeah, that's a counterfeit, because they know the real bill so well. And that's the same thing. It's like, if you really, really want to get into, get the Jimi Hendrix sound down, one of the keys is to listen to a lot of Jimi Hendrix music. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but one of the keys to getting is to sounding like him is not just playing like him, but getting his sounds. And that's even harder sometimes than playing like him. And so when you know the sound so well, when you're dialing in your amp and your pedals and your guitars and you're choosing guitars and all that, when you finally dial in and go, wait, that's the sound, you'll find it, you'll go. But if it's constantly, you haven't listened to enough, and you play a little bit of Jimi Hendrix and you go, okay, I think I need a little more top end. Okay, all right, now I need more neck pickup. That kind of. It's not going to happen as easily as if you just kind of know it so well that when you hear it, you go, I got it. That's it. That's the sound. And it's funny because you could play through his rig and not sound like him. So that happens all the time. I always tell you the story about my friend that he was into computers, and he was a guitar player at one of the churches I played at, and he and I would often play together. And he had the best gear, and I had crap for gear because I didn't have any money because I was a guitar player. And he was in computer repair and was making a fortune, 40 hours a week. He's making like $75 an hour, 40 hours a week. And he had great guitars. He had Tom Anderson guitars, and he had, Mesa Boogie and all these and everything. And it's like, and he sounded pretty good. And I would pick up his rig and I go, man, this sounds so good. And I start playing. He's like, man, it sounds so much better when you play through it. It's like, yeah, because it's just, because I was a professional and he was a part-time player at the time. Now he's professional, by the way. I should interview him, actually. That would be an interesting interview, because he did transition from a full-time job to full-time guitar work. Not sure what he's doing now. I need to call him. I may ask him if he'd be willing to do that. But he was doing a lot of touring. He became Christopher Cross's guitar player. And he started playing it. He started getting some really cool gigs. I was a little bit jealous, I have to admit. So I doubt he's watching. But there's what I did there. So let me pull up, let me delete this. Can I do it this way? Yeah. And let me pull up the fourth stave from that song, and let's look at what I did there, okay? Is this it? Yeah. This seems a little bit more kind of straight ahead, pentatonic, and I did not surround the G chord or the G note with this lick, okay? So let's look at so we're looking at what's technically here, bar 15, and it's this. Well, I'm pointing with my mouse, so you can't see that. But it's where it goes G, D, G. Okay, I'm trying to keep standing on my tippy toes here, trying to keep my guitar up and play. So if we look at that, it's just pure pentatonic, right? Open D, second fret, open G, second fret, open B, and then back down to A, and then down to F sharp, and open D and G. Okay, this is from Penta. So it's pure pentatonic. Okay, this is, if you look at the up there, the top, very, very top, it says G major pent. I'm starting on D note, D, E, G, A is what I'm playing. D, E, G, A, in that order. And then if I go to the D, I go to the B string, if I go to the D major pentatonic, look at that one. That's the third scale down. I'm going backwards from that. I'm right down. Oh, actually, not purely down. B, A, F sharp, and then I go to D. And so that D to G movement or interval is pretty strong. It's as strong as the, not quite as strong. Okay. Here's another thing, Michael. Another thing you can do is you can come at the G note. It's so funny, Bruce. We're just sitting at, like, I got 38 concurrent viewers, right? Our peak is 41, 42, 41, yeah, 41, 42, okay? This is about the time that people start showing up, right? We're going to hit, I mean, I'm not making a prediction here, but I'm predicting we hit 60 in the next, like, half hour, like, just out of the blue. So I've really been saving the best teaching for now. I've just been saving it. Everything I've taught you before was just fluff. This is the real thing right here. Okay, so we can go from A to G, or we can go from F sharp to G, right? And then we also have that D to G. So all those are really strong movements to the G. And what are those? D, F sharp, A. That's the triad, the D triad, right? So we could go, right? We could go D, and then keep in mind that's only 3 notes: D, F sharp, A, G. Okay, I think I did that earlier, but I could also go right. I could go D, open B, 2nd fret on the A, F sharp, and now and instead of going F sharp, A to G, I'm going A to F sharp to D. So I'm still wrapping around that G note, that root note, but I'm coming at it from the bottom instead of the top here. Okay. Somewhere there's a bottom G string joke, but anyway. And I'm trying to keep everything 4 notes. 1 and 2 and 3. Or actually, in this case, remember, this is 3 and 4 and 1. 3 and 4 and 1. 3 and 4 and 1. Dang. Yeah, in Wits End, I've got lots of friends like that. It's very, very difficult to make a living doing this, and I wouldn't say it's heroic. In fact, when 9/11 happened, I wanted to quit playing guitar because I felt like I was a worthless human being, okay, so there's... And then we could go, and that way we're going F sharp to A to D, and then but this lick here is, so we're going, we're going past the G string or the G note, going below it, and then going from the D to the G. So that lick here again, just the lick in bar, what is that? 15, right? D, A, or D, E, G, A, B, A, F sharp, D, G. I keep doing licks that are not in the what we're doing. Okay. And what's going to be fun too is, and maybe what I can do is, let's see. Do I have room to do that? I might have room to do that. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of control. But one thing I might do is come up with when we get to the end of this segment, which is going to be a long segment. When we get to the end of this, I'll write a song that uses all of this. Just gives me freedom to use any of the scales, right? That we're going to learn, and then maybe I'll make it like maybe I'll make it more like a solo and less a melody, like less a song and more like, okay, here's a solo over this. So I'll transcribe it, tab it, and then I can put brackets over the phrases and go, oh, look, here's G major pentatonic. Oh, here's G major blues. Oh, here's G minor blues. Oh, here's G minor pentatonic. Oh, here's a G major scale. Here's a C major scale, whatever. And so that might be a way to, kind of put a big bow on everything and say, look, now we're using all the scales. Because when you're soloing, you don't go, okay, I'm going to limit myself to X, Y, or Z. You use X, Y, and Z. You use them all, whatever you need, all the tools you have. Okay, so far we have 2 tools. Okay, we have the G major scale, and then we have 3 major pentatonic scales. Okay, we're going to add to that Monday. We're going to add a new tool to our tool box. We all need Tom. Wait, what? Wait, Tom's enthusiasm is contagious. I need that. Okay, good. Let's see. G string is popular today. Yeah, it's making it. Yeah. Now, see, I don't even think about G string. I'm going commando. So, let's see. No, I'm kidding. You know what's crazy about that though? Going commando, I thought that my friend Chip and I made that up, or that Chip kind of made it up and that we just use that term as a joke. And then, like, flash forward like 20 years, and Joey on Fringe says it. And when he said it, I'd never heard it anywhere else other than in the context of me and Chip. And apparently it became common use. No, are they saying Gary? Use what? It is, well. It's okay. So John is asking, what about the A makes it a good transition back to the G pentatonic? Okay. Well, remember the whole sus thing. Okay. So when you have a G, if we have a G triad, like here, the middle, so we got the 5th, 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string all open, right? If I play the 2nd fret on the 4th string and play that, it makes an E minor chord, but it's also a G sus 6. It wants to go dun dun, wants to resolve. If I do the 2nd, the A wants to go down to the G. Also, it also wants to go up to the B. Right? But that's a 2-1 suspension. And then you have a 4-1 suspension, right? The C wants to resolve to that B, C, B. Okay? So the A to the G is really, in the context of G, is a 2-1 suspension, which is a nice resolution. I like going 2 to 3. So I could have gone, what was that? We could have done that, right? But it doesn't sound as resolved as going down to the G. So the A is part of the D chord. So remember, you're playing over a D triad, and then you go into a G triad. So you can just play a pure, or just to play a pure D triad, F sharp, D, A, F sharp, G. That's going to resolve. Or you could go where I play D, F sharp, D, A. I'm only using chord tones. If I only used chord tones as solo, I would be really limiting myself, because chord tones, that would be 3 notes per chord that we can use. Right now we're using pentatonics, which are giving us 5 notes, okay? So that A is part of the G major pentatonic, but it's not part of the G chord. It is part of the D chord, though. So that's why that A works. Hopefully that answers your question a little bit. So it's just one of the tools you can use. So every note, in fact, I mean, I like if I were to do D, okay, play the D string. This one's nice. You're going to like this. D, F sharp with the pinky. We're going to want to use our pinky here. Okay, sorry, Holly. F sharp, second finger on A, and then C, which is not part of the D major pentatonic. Okay, but that, what you just outlined there was a D7 chord, right? And so that C really wants to go to that B and that G chord. I mean, that's the whole reason that seventh is there. Okay, you got this tritone here. C, F sharp, guide tones of the D7 chord. C is the seventh, and F sharp is the third. And then that F sharp wants to go to G, and the C wants to go down to B and resolve to a G chord, which is a dyad, a two-note chord that represents a G chord. That populates music all over the place in music. Okay. Okay, that just goes. You hear that all the time in music, and even if you're not going to a D7 chord, even if you're playing a D, that 7 will work. Okay, but we're not talking about that. What we did when we were doing the D major or G major scale, because in the G major scale we did have a C note. So I have to look up. Let's see. Did I use that C? I did. I used the C note in Uncle Jan's Reels. So over the D chord, I did it there. The first phrase. I did it so I did it here in bar 5 or 4. Okay, I played a C in there over the D chord there, and then also down here on the turnaround at the very end, bar 15, I used it. So pull up Uncle Jan's Reel, and you can see how the C over the D chord can be utilized. Okay, and I'm talking, don't worry, there won't be a quiz on any of this. Okay, the quiz is when you all send me your solos, to the jam track. I'll have to post the MP3 of the jam track so you can download it, record your own solos over it, and send it to me for a grade. No, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. However, kind of get full circle into my point I was wanting to make over practicing. Practicing ultimately will become there's what you want to practice, and then there's what you need to practice, and you probably need to prioritize what you need to practice. If you're playing at church this weekend and they send you the songs in advance, you probably want to go over those. Okay, that's a typical scenario for a lot of guitar players, particularly in America. A lot of guitar players play at churches on the weekends, especially weekend warriors. Which a weekend warrior is someone who just plays on the weekends, who's not a professional, who doesn't work during the week. You know what? I'm going to call Dave. Not now, but I have to write down that I need to call Dave, my friend, because I want to. I want to maybe interview, like I said, maybe interview him for. The funny thing, his name is Dave Clark. It's not that Dave Clark, obviously. But yeah, so that's one of the things that you could, you use the thing that you need to do, and the reason you need to practice what you need to practice, not what you want to practice sometimes, is because fear is your greatest motivator. You should, and apparently I don't have this this fear anymore, and not because I'm a good guitar player, but fear of making a fool of yourself. I mean, that I pretty much do every live stream. But the I would practice, like if I said, oh yeah, I can play banjo for a session or whatever, that rest of that week I'm practicing banjo. Any practice regimen routine that I had set up for the week is out the window. I am practicing banjo this week, and I'm woodshedding that thing, and I'm trying to get it down as best I can so that when I get to that session, I'm overqualified. I've told you the story about the time when I really wanted to work for this composer in Pasadena, and finally, he called me to work, but he said, do you play mandolin? And I said, yes, because I was kind of trained never to say no. And, it could have been, I'm going to get rid of this here. It could have gone really badly, right? I could have burned a bridge by saying yes for something I was highly unqualified for. I didn't even have a mandolin at the time. And that was a Saturday morning that he called, and the gig was Monday afternoon. And he said, "Do you play banjo?" He said, "Do you play mandolin?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "When's the session?" He said, "Monday." And I was like, "I don't even have a mandolin." But I had a student who had a mandolin. My student John. Both these people have passed away, which is weird. Because Tom is a little older than me, and John was a little younger than me, and it's just part of getting older. But it's. I think if I make it to 90, you'll be used to it. It's like I don't have any friends left, whatever. But in your 50s, it's a little weird. So I also saw that U.S. life expectancy is trending downward. On the long term, it's not much. It's like life expectancy was 80, now it's 79 or something like that. But it was lower than Europe. But I think it's because just Americans in general kind of put more pressure on themselves, and there's probably more stress. They don't enjoy life as much. It's sad to say. That's why I love Europe. I feel like Europe is just like, hey, let's have a 4-hour dinner, with wine and everything. So anyway, that's just my opinion. But I said yes to this session, and so I said, "John, can I borrow your mandolin?" He goes, "I'll sell it to you." And I go, "Really? How much you want?" He goes, $50. I said, "Okay, great." So I had a $50 Lotus mandolin, and I went to the library, I think, because this is before the internet. I went to the library, and no, I don't think I even went to the library. I think I knew what the notes were supposed to be. He had a tuner, so I tuned it up. It was, G, D, A, and E, and I kept it tuned like that. I didn't tune it like a guitar. Really wouldn't have worked. There's no way to tune it like a guitar without changing the strings. And so I wood shedded the crud out of that thing. I had pads of paper out. You learn so much when you're just trying to figure something out. And that's how I learned something. Okay, right? There's like 5 ways to learn, or 6 or 7 ways to learn, right? My wife is a book learner. She can read a book and learn something, okay? But Alex and I, we're both like, all right, let's just dig in and start doing this. How do I do this? Okay, and I just take notes. So I'm writing little diagrams. I'm going, okay, here's a G chord, here's a D chord, here's a C chord. Okay, here's E minor. Now, what if I need to play an F chord? Okay, here's the F chord. Okay, now scales. Here's the notes. Okay, and the thing that saved me on that was the E string is in the same place as the E string. So if nothing else, if I could just read notes on the E string, I'd be fine, right? I go, okay, fifth fret is A. Okay, ninth fret is C sharp. Okay, 10th fret is D. So that is one little snippet. And then the other thing I did was kind of fooled my brain. Okay, when I'm playing the second string, which is A, I would think, okay, I'm on the A string of the guitar. I'm on the 5th string, so then I could play notes on the A string. A little tough when I was going across strings. But when I got to the session, all he wanted me to do was like, he just wanted something that sounded like, something like that. It was very, very Godfather sounding. So in 48 hours, and trust me, I didn't sleep much in those 48 hours. Beth would tell you I was very stressed. And it was the first session I ever did for this guy, for Tom. And I was overqualified within 48 hours for this session. And consequently, I worked for Tom a lot in the coming years until he moved to Nashville. And then I stopped working for him. I think I did 1 session for him remotely, and that's it. So a lot of times what you want to practice becomes what you need to practice. And that's going to be part of my talk. The other, or part of the video if I do one. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about creating, warming up. But instead of using standard warm-ups, invent your own warm-ups on the stuff that you're going to be working on later. Okay? Like, for example, if you've got if you're working on a Villalobos piece, what is it, Prelude number 1 or whatever, you can Of course, not. I don't have a thumbnail right now. In fact, I don't have hardly any nails right now. But that pattern is really, really difficult on the right hand, and it's the most difficult. And so you could make that part of your warm-up routine. Just playing that pattern over and over again would be part of your warm-up, and then that prepares you for the thing you're going to be working on later. Or if you've got a particularly difficult fingering passage in a jazz piece that you're working on, or you're trying to get down giant steps or whatever, you can use an exercise over giant steps, playing the 1, 2, 3, 5 that I use sometimes just to kind of warm up my hands, because it kind of works out all the fingers, it's been a while. I forget, a really good jazz guitar player showed me that. And it's just a way to think about playing over changes that are moving really, really fast. It's kind of a cool trick. And I use it, but I don't play a lot of. See, that's the thing. My jazz chops have gone away because I'm not doing jazz gigs anymore. But there was a time where I was playing. In fact, with that John, that student of mine that sold me the mandolin, he put down the guitar and took up saxophone. And it was kind of weird because it was like he's in his 20s and he's like, I'm not going to play guitar. I want to play sax now. And so he got into Ornette Coleman, and he could sound like Ornette Coleman right out of the bat, right at the beginning. And let's see. Yeah, no, we're climbing a little bit, but not much. I kind of predicted we might, but we played at a. If anybody on the live stream is from LA, might remember Gorky's. There was Gorky's in Hollywood, but the original Gorky's was in Skid Row. So on Saturday at midnight, I would go to Skid Row with my jazz box, my jazz guitar, and my amp, and play with it was a septet, I think. We had a 7-piece. And we would do standards for like 4 hours, right? For tips and food. And it was a really good restaurant. It was Gorky's cafeteria. So it was like a Russian bakery, and their forte was crepes and breakfast burritos. Not breakfast burritos. What's it called? When you wrap up in eggs. I can't remember. My brain is not on right now. Take another sip of coffee. But the food was very, very good. We got free food, so that was cool. But I'm literally working 4 hours, and we'd walk out of there with $2 or $3. I'm not kidding. And I would get accosted. I'd be so scared going from the restaurant to the car because all these bums are around there asking me for money. I thought they were gonna kill me and take my guitar because they're asking for $1, and here I'm walking by with a couple $1,000 worth of gear, right? It's like, and so Michael, you remember Gorky's cabbage rolls? I don't remember. I didn't get those. Probably because I'm not a big cabbage fan, but that's totally sounds like something. Because the cabbage would be a very Russian thing. They probably had great borscht, but I wasn't really into borscht. I was really into their. Has anybody said that? What's it called when you omelet? Sorry, that's what I'm trying to think of the term omelet. They had really, really good giant omelets, and so it was pretty dope. I mean, when musicians, if you can get free food, I played at a classical guitar for an hour and a half every Monday through Friday at a restaurant in Pasadena for free food and tips. But that was me practicing, but technically getting paid to practice. I had nothing better to do, and I needed to get out in public, and it was. What I was doing was I was playing, hard pieces, but at 1/2 or 1/4 tempo, and speeding them up every day, playing the same sometimes the same music every day.
but I was playing in front of people because I wanted to deal with my nerves playing classical guitar solo music by in front of people. So when you're playing with a band, you're less nervous than when you're playing by yourself in front of people because you mess up, everybody hears it, so you can't make mistakes. And usually the reason you make a mistake is because you're nervous. By the time you get to a gig, you should know the music. And if you make a mistake then, it's because you're nervous. So I wanted to deal with the nerves. And so that was, you can't Zoom a wedding gig. Well, yeah, I guess I could. But at Gorky's, we would play, and I'd be like, eventually, we did it every Saturday. And then I would get up Sunday morning and play at church. I mean, it was like I'd get 2 hours sleep on Saturday night or something like that. But, I was in my 20s. I was young. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Sam. Oh, Sam. Oh, bye, Jim. Sorry, I missed you. Yeah, not only am I back Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, everybody else is back. Now, Friday is Christmas. Yeah, you're right, I forgot. Friday might be, let's see, 9 a.m. Yeah, that might be a little tough. We'll see. We may have to push to Saturday. Might have to push to Saturday, but we'll see. Or I might go a little later on Christmas. I can't imagine. Are you guys going to want to watch on Christmas? It's like, really? I don't think that's going to happen. So I think pushing to Saturday makes more sense. So I may do that. I'll solidify that next week. And then. So I remember though, but after a few weeks of doing this Gorky's gig on Skid Row, literally in downtown Los Angeles, I kind of realized that I wasn't going to get assaulted from my guitar and amp as I was going to and from my car. But a guy asked me for money as I was coming out, and I said, "Dude, I just spent the last 4 hours sweating my blank off." Playing bebop tunes, trying to solo over bebop tunes, and I made $2. How much have you made in the last 4 hours? And he goes, I don't know, probably $20. And I said, I'm sorry, but I can't. I mean, I should have just given him my $2. He gave me $1, and I took it. It was like, thanks, man. He goes, yeah, I was listening outside. Here's $1. I was like, oh, great. A bum on Skid Row just gave me $1 because I'm a guitar player. Bum, guitar player. So that's pretty much life. So anyway, but that was Gorky's. Yeah, that's funny, Michael, that you remember that place. Yeah, and then they opened in Hollywood, and then I think they closed everything. I mean, I probably could find some archives on Google or something like that of maybe menus or something like that. But yeah, it was good. I never went down there except to work, though. To be honest, I never took. I said, hey Beth, you got to try this omelet. I never did that. Like yeah, nope. And that place was open 24/7. It was open 24 hours a day. So it was interesting because there were a lot of cops there. I'll tell you a story. See, Diane's not here, but the one story, I think I may have told this. I still have it somewhere. I had it framed and hung for a while, but somebody drew a picture of me, which was cool, and gave it to me as a tip, which is cool. It was pretty cool. I think, who knows that if it's, I better find that just in case that kid became a famous artist or something. I don't know if he signed it. Yeah, exactly, Gary. The difference between a pizza and a full-time musician. The pizza can feed a family of 4 at least once. Exactly. And so, so I'm sitting there, and we're playing bebop, and I got my music stand, right? So I've got like the music stands there, and I'm playing the bebop, whatever we're doing, I'd be sitting there with the guitar. Right, and we're so we're taking turns solo. It's like a 7-piece, so we have a bass. So we had piano, bass, drums, sax, trumpet, guitar. There may have been another guitar player, or there may have been another sax player, or something. I don't remember. I remember being Maybe it was just a sextet, which would be that would be six, right? Yeah. What's five? Not a pentet. Octet would be eight. Quartet would be four. What's five? I forget what five is. That's weird. Quintet. Sorry, there it is. I knew it would come to me eventually. Quintet, sextet. So I think we were a sextet. Um, and some people come in, and we were kind of set in this fairly big room with a bunch of booths, going this way. And they would walk around with a bowl, say, hey, tip the band, and people would throw quarters in or $1 in or whatever. And the restaurant would do that, like the waiters would do it. But this one table comes in, and this one group, 4 people come in, and the 2 people sit with their back to me, and 2 people sit with their face to me in this booth that's a little bit of ways. And I'm playing, and I look up from my chart, and it's Lauren Hutton, the actress. She was a model, and she was an actress, Lauren Hutton, and she always had a gap between her teeth, blonde. I'm like, that's Lauren Hutton. And she's staring right at me. And I'm like, boom. I go right back to my music. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to distract me. And so, quintet, thank you, Benatti. And so I'm like, okay, I'm playing, I'm reading, I'm playing, I'm soloing, I'm doing my thing. And I go, I got to look at it. I got to see it. It's a famous person. I got to go look at that famous person. It's like, it's the moth to the flame thing, So I look up, and I look at Lauren Hutton, and she's looking straight at me again, staring me dead in the eye. And I'm like, what is going on here? This is like kind of creepy. And so I'm like, I can't, I'm sitting there, I'm playing, and I can't think, I'm losing my concentration. I got to look again. It's just like you can't help yourself. And so I look up, and she's looking at me again, dead on, staring right at me. And I look at her, and she winks at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And, this is a fine looking woman, but I'm a married man. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe, we never talked or anything. I think that maybe she thought I looked like someone she knew or something. And she was like, oh man, he looks just like my brother or my friend or whatever. And so that was pretty funny. Another time, totally unrelated situation with a famous person was with Beth and I went to this place called Conrad's, which I don't know if it's still there or not, in Pasadena on Lake Avenue. And we're sitting in the booth in the window, on the window side, Lake Avenue. And I'm facing, I think, north, and I can see out the window. The window's right here on my right, and Beth has got her facing me this way. She's facing south. And I'm looking out the window and walking down the street. It's Maureen McCormick. She's walking on the sidewalk by herself. Maureen McCormick from the Brady Bunch, right? Marsha. Well, I'm like, Beth, that was Maureen McCormick. And Beth only sees her back. And she goes, really? I go, I'm really bad with faces, but I'm pretty darn sure that was Maureen McCormick. And so she goes, that's weird. And and my church at the time, Lake Avenue Church, was right up the street. And they were always having events and things like that. So, and I said, well, maybe she was at Lake, because I think she was a Christian, and I think she was, maybe she spoke at something. I don't know. She came into Conrad's, walked right by our table, and stared dead at Beth really closely, walked to the bathroom, came out and stared dead at Beth again and walked away. And I'm like, that was weird. And I said, maybe when she walked by, she thought you were Jan, Eve Plum, because Beth looks a lot like, man, in junior high, Beth looked exactly like Eve Plum. And so, she got kind of the curly, wavy blonde hair, long, wavy blonde hair. And Beth really, kind of did look like Jan Brady. Jan, I'm used to saying Jan. Jan Brady or Eve Plum from the Brady Bunch. And so I'm wondering if she came in and was like, just wanted to make sure it wasn't Jan. It was pretty funny. Which one? Yep. Oh no, Whitson, you can ask me. I am using OBS. Let's see, what is it? Let me do a screenshot of this. Okay. All right. So Whitson, here's what I'm using. Al Di Meola. Yeah, I wanted to be Al Di Meola. I loved Al Di Meola as a kid. I wanted to be the world's fastest guitar. Oops. No, that's the wrong. That's the wrong. Remove. Yes. All right. I went to the wrong window here. Desktop. Screenshots automatically go to the desktop. Okay. So Wits End, this is what I'm using right now. Okay. And then I sync it. The key is the key. It's called, let's see, settings. Stream. So it's called a stream key. So once you get the stream key, then, and you only have to do it once. I don't have to do this every day. And I can quit OBS and quit. I'm using Chrome because it works better than Safari. I'm a Mac user, but Chrome works better for this. But once you enter the key, and it's a stream key, it's a long code. I forget who generates. I think the YouTube generates the stream key. You put it in OBS, and then the two can talk to each other. Okay, and then you start the stream in you go to streams. You start stream on YouTube, and then it's when you hit start streaming on OBS, then it sends the streaming, and that's when the stream starts. At least that's what I figured out. But this is what I'm using. What's that? Possibly, but that's fine. I don't mind talking about this. So, but that's what I'm using. So if you're wondering, as far as talking off channel, I probably need to get to work as soon as I'm off. But yeah, Dennis can probably help you more than I can, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, there are YouTube is almost always where I go to. In fact, I need to find a YouTube video on how to. We got new. We have a big glass shower in one of our bathrooms, and we wanted to replace the stripping in the door, right? And so they only had 96 inches, and I think we only needed like 82 inches. So I got to cut off, but I want to cut this plastic thing without. I don't know how to cut it without causing lots of problems, but I need to look it up and see if there's somebody's done a video on that very specific thing. But YouTube is great for that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on YouTube right now. Let's see. Pepper, you met Lars Ulrich once. Yes, that doesn't surprise me that he's an intelligent guy. Benatti met Al Di Meola after a concert in Germany, and that chat went for more than 20 minutes. That's cool. Yeah, I told you guys about at a wedding last year that I finally, I got to meet David Foster, talked to him for about 45 minutes, and he just asked me questions. He just wanted to know about my life, and that was the coolest thing. He was really fascinated with what I was doing, and I thought that was pretty cool. He was didn't want to talk about himself. A good pair of scissors. I do have a good pair of scissors, so maybe it's kind of a soft plastic, so it's kind of like a pseudo rubberized plastic. But I want it to be as clean a cut as possible because I'll probably make the cut at the bottom so that it'll be hitting the floor, so you may not see it, rather than at the top because it's a bit, like I said, the shower is a big glass wall. So someone tuning in now is like, "Where's the guitar lesson?" There's the guitars in the background. How many? See, yeah, we're getting down there because people know I'm getting ready to sign off. Okay, so let me go ahead and play Pent Up. We play it at 125 just because I think it's a little bit more fun or challenging, or maybe even 150. I'll start at 125. And this is the song that you can go to the Discord. Dennis, can you post the Discord link one more time? I'm going to set this to, so I'm using this video. Let's see, what do I have? What's my last? Yeah, this is the video I'm using that I created, this Bluegrass thing that we can use for jamming. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 125. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the video back, my Bluegrass jam track back at 1.25 speed. Playback speed, now I'm going to set to 1.5, so it's going to be, now it's technically going to be 150 beats per minute, sorry, second. You wouldn't even hear it, it just sounded like hummingbird talk. Okay, let's see what it says. 1, 2, 3. All right, should I try 175? All right, let me try it. I don't mind failing in front of all of you, but as long as it's you guys. It's not like this is on the internet or anything. Okay, gotta get ready though. I gotta hit play and be ready. Good thing I put a little gap at the front. It doesn't start right away, which I have to remember that. 2, 3. Let me start again. I had it. Once you mess up, it's hard to find your footing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not even going to try 200, I don't think. Oh, what the heck. Let me try 200. You guys are all on the edge of your seat, aren't you? Oh, my goodness. Not that I did 175 perfect. I didn't get all the way through it. All right. Can you hear the track? I don't know if you can hear the track. Wait, here, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. I could get it down. I could see where it get down. I like the melody of John's Reel better, and so that melody, I'm like, will I record that and use that? I don't know, maybe, but I might change the key. Maybe capo play an A or something, so it's a little different. But now that last one was 200. The last one. So I did 100, 125, 150, 175, and then 200.
And trust me, there are a lot of bluegrass songs that are faster than 200. So that's not. But it does. To me, it sounds a little bit better at the faster speeds than at the slow speed at 100 because it sounds like a very simple melody at 100, but at 150 it starts to sound it gets to that bluegrass realm. Okay. So, but Monday we're gonna add a blues note to the major pentatonic. Maybe just the G major. I may do it to all three. I haven't decided yet. But because I really think I can write a song, and I won't have a song on Monday. That we won't be doing. But my hope is to have a song by Wednesday or by Saturday, because we probably won't do Christmas Day. I can't imagine anybody's going to want to show up. Now, I may do a jam with Alex on Christmas Day. That is likely to happen because the kids are going to be over, of course. But yeah, Becca, thank you so much. But yeah, I like writing these songs. It's good for me. It's good mental exercise. It's good because it's creating content, which is I feel like what should I say? A way to monetize my playing as much as possible, which is kind of one of the keys. But anyway, so I will be back Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, Lord willing. Have a great weekend. I will. Yeah, like I said, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do by then. It may just be one new scale, or it may be 3 new scales. I may go ahead and show you all 3 of them, but I hate to bury you in a lot of extra. Although the D major blues is a nice one too because it has that F in it, really nice. The C major blues has an E flat in it, which actually does work in this case over the 4 chord, which didn't work in the blues context. But I think well, I'll decide what I'm going to do. I may keep it simple and just do 1 scale because I do feel like my temptation, my natural inclination is to go too fast because I'm not sitting right with you. If I was sitting with you, I would be aware. If it was one-on-one, I'd be very aware of you not getting it. But I'm kind of limited to what you say in the live stream. And it's interesting because the live stream will stop running when I'm talking, maybe telling a story. Or if we're working on a scale and everybody's got a guitar in their hand. And then all of a sudden it'll start speeding up again. Hey, Jay, no worries. You're welcome from an old guy. So anyway, thanks so much, Michael. Thank you so much. Becker, good to see you. Fake it till you make it. Exactly. Bro. And then, Dennis? Dennis posted the Discord link? Yeah, no, I don't see. I don't see it either, Dennis. That's no big deal. Here, let me get it. I'll get it right now. Copy. Obviously, I'm on the Discord link page now. Yep. There it is. Wait, what did you say, Dennis? Nice, Tim. Make a cool Strahle fam jam. Yeah, so Alex and I may be on at Christmas. We'll see. I wonder if I can get Jack on bass. I don't know if that will happen. I got that Beatle bass back there that Jack could play. He might have fun playing that. Yeah, send the email. Yeah, I'll try to check. Oh, in fact, I've got to check. I don't check my Gmail very often, but that's the one for my live stream stuff. So, in fact, all right. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. So I got too many things open right now. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me at the tstrahle@gmail.com, and I'll try to keep track of that. I'll try to keep track of
any you know, I'll try to open up that app every now and then so I can see, oh yeah, I got an email. But yeah, no worries if I can help. But again, I'm not a big technical guy on this stuff. I kind of get it to work, and then fortunately, it works most of the time I use it, so I don't have to troubleshoot. If that answers your question. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Holly, and yep, everybody. Oh, Paul was probably lurking that whole time. I will. Yeah, and so we'll be reiterating kind of what we've been doing, but it'll be slightly different. So we'll look at the, you know. No, because I posted the Discord link and it's showing there. So, oh, it's not letting you post it, huh? That's weird. Because I did. You see mine, or are you not seeing that? I see it, but can you guys see my Discord link? That's all right. So, Bruce, can you see my Discord link up there? It literally is right. It's right above the stop signs you put up there, saying Tom post. It says Tom post Discord link. Dennis is not working. It's the post before you, so maybe they're not allowing it. That's kind of weird, huh? If that's the case. Okay. Well, guess what I'm going to do then? I'm going to post it in the so you'll have to write it down. But so here, let's see. New. Paste. Okay. Let me do this. And this is a permanent link, so I can post this in the, if they're going to be jerky about it, you know. Hold on a second. I got it. Hold on a second. All right. So I'm going to grab this and put it up on the screen here, and then you can do a screen grab. Okay. And this link should be permanently good. In fact, I'll just put it right here. It's nice and big. Okay. So there it is. The first part of it should be pretty obvious, and then, yep. So maybe they're doing something to kind of prevent that. That seems kind of weird. Maybe is there a setting that I have? Let me see if there's a setting. Participants, no. Toggle timestamp, no. Did it? Okay. Oh, let me post the YouTube video. Did it let me post? Maybe it's just something going on with their system, because surely they would allow me to post this. So tell me if you can see this in the chat. That is the jam that I was just playing over. So, and I'll keep this Discord link handy so that I can put that up if we have problems. But if you need it, do a screen grab, and then you can copy, you know, by hand. That's so weird. Yeah, no one's seeing the links. So so can you see that? I just posted the YouTube link. Is that one showing up? So maybe they're just maybe it's a new policy. But see, surely it would tell me. Like, give me an option. Nothing. Nope. Okay. Pin message. Weird. Okay, now I pinned it. Did it show up? Oh, I can post it in the description. Oh, I need to change the hashtags here. Discord Invite link. Nope, I forgot. Dang it. I forgot I copied this other one. I gotta go back to Discord. Hold on. Copy. Okay, now it's magically appeared in the past. Oh, okay. So the YouTube link is showing as a pinned link. Okay, well let me try to pin this. Okay, so here's the Discord link, and let me pin it. Replace pinned. Okay. And now I replace the YouTube video pin with the Discord. We're all learning together here. You thought you were going to learn guitar, but we're learning YouTubing and links in chat technology. I did not change anything, Dennis. I did not change anything. Stream help measurement, stream settings. No, I can't. I don't think I can change anything once I start. No super chat. Let's see. Stream health. Excellent. Merchandise. You can have this. I just replaced the pin with hawking gear. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything in here. The settings here. Edit. Live chat. Enable live chat. Oh, weird. What about that? Now try this. See if you see this. I changed something. See if you see that. There's a Discord. I just reposted down in the chat the Discord. Yeah, right now. But there was a setting in when I went to edit in live chat. There was a setting said a box says enable live chat. I'm not sure what that means. It lets fans communicate with you and each other. Well, that should always be on. A live chat replay. Yeah, I allow that too. Because I'm referencing the live chat so much that would be stupid to not allow the live chat replay on a live stream. Because I'd be constantly referring to things that people would be going like, what are you referring to? Why would I watch this video? So, and it makes it hard on the phone, but you can see the live chat on the phone, but boy, it's small. Huh. Weird. Well, hopefully nothing's permanently changed, but and I can keep this thing kind of handy if I need to, so I have it because that doesn't change. That's the great thing about that link is it's permanent. So, but yet the chat seemed to be working. You guys were all talking to each other. Seems like a longer normal delay. Yeah, and it says that I can set that, but that's not live chat. That's enable slow mode. See, I don't want to. Can I set it to 1 second? Yeah, see, I don't think I want slow mode on. I'm turning that off. Save. So, anyway. All that's to be said. Hopefully it'll get worked out. Maybe it's something on YouTube side. Hopefully get worked out by Monday. And if not, then just keep me posted, and I can bring the Discord link up here like it is right now. You can just do a screen cap of that and then enter it in by hand if you need it. But everybody that's on right now, I think, is pretty much on Discord already. So there's probably, but who knows who's going to watch this in the future. But God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Dennis, keep healing up. Get better. Hopefully all your family's getting better. And hopefully now that you've had it, you can't get it again, at least not for 6 months, they're saying, at the least. And that would be awesome. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, posting permissions have been removed due to excessive sips. You probably have to check. Yeah, no, there is no option to allow link. Well, no, only moderators can post links. I know that, um, and but oh, from your community. Okay, well let me. But see, I should be able. Okay, I'll check this out. Oh wait, okay. Well, there's a lot more stuff here I can do. Moderators, okay, I have you. Approved users. Oh, funny, I got a bunch of hidden users. Holy cow, man, we have blocked a lot of people. That's funny. Permissions. Let's see. Channel. No. Under community is it got the automatic. Yeah, it's Kathy, Dennis, and Bruce. Paste the URL of a user to add as a moderator. Yeah, I don't see anything here. It talks about. And I don't have blocked links on. Yeah, so there should not. Links should work. So maybe when on a reboot, that will. I'm amazed how many people I've blocked, but I think it's because when I've blocked people in the on YouTube videos as well, when they just on my videos, my uploads that just have been completely jerks. So argumentative. It's like, well, they don't need to be able to see my channel. And a lot of times what they do is they just log into a different account and then start the argument over again. And then I have to block that one. So, but anyway. Okay. So, don't worry. There won't be a quiz on any of this. Get your mug at the pin there. Anyway, I will talk to you later. It makes a great Christmas gift. So I will talk to you. Hopefully, I'll see you all on Monday. Okay, stay well, be safe, and have a great weekend. And hopefully, some of you got some time off now for Christmas. I'm going to try to be working this whole time if I can. So, but the house won't be as quiet as it normally is, unfortunately. So, I'll talk to you soon. God bless you guys. Bye bye. End stream.